Hello, how you doing? Thought we'd do something a little different today because, of course, now I have actually reached 100 Everything Wrong with CinemaSins videos, which is crazy to think about, and some of that appreciation definitely goes to you guys for subscribing and motivating me and helping me get this far. So thank you all for that. Something I guess every channel that does Everything Wrong with CinemaSins videos does is they'll do videos everything wrong with themselves. I've seen all of them do it. So, and I do have some thoughts on my videos too that would be fun. So here we go. Let's do the same thing. Everything wrong with Captain Vader. It's like I've seen a couple of people post comments about it, as if they're gonna do videos on that on me, as if I think they're haters, and I'm just well, I'm gonna do that now. So for this video, I want to go through my first 10 videos just to see if there's any sins I could point out in this and live as well, because I want to do something different. Also, I guess I want to just let you guys know what it was like and making these videos too. So yeah, let's get this over with. All right, so I have my YouTube studio pulled up here, and of course this was my very first one, Everything Wrong with CinemaSins, Pirates of the Caribbean 3, inspired by Birdman. Yeah, and before this, my original plan with this channel was just kind of to make a bunch of videos talking about movies and reacting to trailers, because I wanted to talk about movies. And this is before I'm not sure if I had Letterboxd around this time. I think I might have, but I wanted to do it in video form. But now I mostly do it on Letterboxd. But luckily, the Cinema Wins videos help me express my feelings on movies as well. The reason why I did this video is because, well, inspired by the Birdman. This is because back then I was maybe a little too obsessed with Birdman. I still watch Birdman, but he did an Everything Wrong with CinemaSins on Dead Man's Chest, the second Pirates movie, and because the two Dead Man's Chest and At World's End were shot back to back, I see them as two parts of one giant movie. So I was annoyed, thinking, okay, Birdman, do At World's End now. Do it, come on. Waited 2 years, he never did it. He still hasn't. So I was finally just fine, I'll do it myself. Pulled a Thanos, and so I just did it myself while I was still living with my parents, and I used that old UCut app. I literally made this whole video on a phone. So yeah, that would explain the bad editing. Well, first of all, for some reason back then, I always, I guess I had 1 second of black screen, so that's one sin up there. I'm gonna cringe so hard watching this. Oh, and another sin there. This green thing here, so that was because I used to record videos on my phone. I didn't know how to download videos yet, and my first few videos had these. Surprisingly, only a handful of people have actually noticed those and made comments about them. What's with that green bubble right there? But yeah, that's because I used to record these on my phone. And here's this old intro I used to have. Look, there's another sin there, because the timing of the cannon sound with the text is not right. Look at that. That was not, oh, that is not synced up very well. Oh man, that's bad. Yeah, that is not synced up right.
First of all, this video is 22 minutes.
That mic. Yeah, because I didn't have a proper mic. I just kind of recorded these videos on my phone, the mic I had on my phone, because oh man, was that a mistake, because it does not sound good at all. I am shocked I didn't have more comments criticizing that terrible mic, so there's a sin there.
We'll wait.
And the sin for that sigh, because that was bad.
Seriously, dude, no one cares about the logos.
Now you can just hear that my voice isn't exactly right. I don't know, something. It's because I was recording this in my parents' house. I was I was kind of holding back, it sounds like, and now I do try to be more active, but man.
I'm sure he told the hangman this.
Send for that weird pause. I'm not sure why there was a pause there.
Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin in a movie cliche.
Send for just straight up, because that was back before I came up with arbitrary movie reference.
Right through it.
What makes you think she's alone?
I think the syncing up of the sin counter and the ding sound isn't right either. And also you might have noticed, hold on.
Well, guess what, CinemaSins? I saw right through it.
What makes you...
But that sound, because that was originally, because I just wanted to add my own ding sound before I eventually just stopped. I just kind of used the same ding sound that CinemaSins use. So I think that was a mistake.
That's racist, sexist, and coincidentally exactly what I was hoping he'd say, which makes me racist, sexist.
Yeah, just out of sin. I think you know what I'm going to say.
I don't think they do, because this is literally your first video, so I don't know why I'm referring to myself in the third person, but
Completely made up for this movie.
What do you mean by that?
is that the microwave that was there in the basement? Was that the sound? That might have been. That just kind of was left in there. Should have re-recorded that, dude.
Team up to validate this movie's 3-hour runtime.
Jeremy,
You can literally hear my brother in there. Wow.
you know, this sound?
Okay, that changed with the aspect ratio. That was so jarring and bad.
Maybe it's just because you don't care about the character herself? Was anybody thinking that this was racist or sexist?
You can literally hear stuff happening in the background, because I mean, I've definitely tried to avoid that more, because oh man, I don't know if I can get through this.
I'm just saying.
Jeremy points things out on the screen.
I'm just gonna add 10 cents for all the background noises that I just didn't bother, that I'm just like, yeah, I'll leave it in, no prob. This video isn't gonna, because I think my thought process back then was I just wanted to get this video out as quickly as possible for no reason. And even though my channel was like still under 1,000 subscribers at that point, and I really didn't expect this video to get so many views, so I'm not sure why. I don't know why. I was just lazy back then.
Sitting this scene is worth 10 sins.
Jack allowed to wander around the beach while these people were relegated to the water.
Another moment where the sound effect with the sin counter changing, that did not sync up well at all.
Yes, that.
What was that arrow? Like, what? Come on. Oh, and also, so far, my script is good, where I'm like, I like what I'm saying. I just wish I delivered them a lot better and I had a better mic. But this might be the first sin where I'm like, you could have done this sin better. I fixed that in the remake for this video, but that they were on this island to resupply, and they could have, like, got more gunpowder that way, so yeah.
This proves that Norrington doesn't love Liz just because she.
I'm gonna watch this at 1.25 speed, because I am talking so slowly. Like, oh my gosh, it's so slow.
You know, killing her father. So this leads to Norrington having a change of heart and letting her and her.
Yeah, because that audio change was so jarring. I'm glad I put the text up there saying sorry about that, but oh man, it doesn't change it how jarring it was.
Will is killing dudes just so he can drop them into the ocean, and the birds will leave a trail for Beckett to follow. What's lost in all this is that Will is killing people just to leave trails. This cold-blooded motherfucker is a hero?
It's almost like he's a pirate, and pirates aren't heroes.
Get rid of that background noise. Oh, and also I do another sin where I'm like, I would have reworded that, because I got a couple of comments pointing out that, well, Will didn't kill those people. Those were like leftover, like, dead bodies from the battle that they just had with Beckett's ship earlier in the movie. So Will's just taking those bodies and throwing them overboard. He's not killing anybody. So yeah, and I missed that back in 2022, so I wish I noticed that.
So am I really being asked to care about Jack Sparrow's daddy issues in the third movie? Because I don't, can't, and I won't.
What daddy issues? Literally the only thing Teague does in this movie is explain the rules about the Pirate King. What daddy issues are being explored here?
Well, there are daddy issues. I got a comment pointing out there were daddy issues. Like they talked about, like at one point Teague like brings up, like, Jack asks like, how's mom? And then Teague like brings up a shrunken head. And so I guess they were like showing they were daddy issues, but it was still weird how CinemaSins like acted as if that was like a huge plot point of the movie, which it really wasn't.
Calypso is a literal god.
It is perhaps fitting that one of the final battles will take place in.
Wait a minute.
Calypso is a literal god.
It is perhaps fitting that.
Whoa, the sin counter like just disappeared for like a millisecond. What was that about?
This happens because they took over the Flying Dutchman, and Beckett was so shocked that he realizes his plan won't work.
Whoa.
And Beckett was so shocked that he realizes his.
He like was that. Shoot, you forgot to cut out the first part of that first he in that. Like, man. And then for our next video, well, there was a bit of a gap in between because, yep, I made this Pirates 3 video on November 16th, 2022, and I didn't make my next one, which was, oh, here it is, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I didn't post that until April 28th, 2023. There was a bit of a gap there. I was just kind of doing other things, and that's mainly because I originally planned that At World's End video to be a one and done thing. I was just like, yep, there we go, move on. But then over the past few months, during those months, I was just thinking, you know what, maybe I could like keep doing these. Maybe I could do more of these. And gain this burning desire, like, you know what? Yeah, I could. Then I realized, oh yeah, Birdman only did the first Toy Story. He never did any of the sequels. So I got to work on my Toy Story 2 video. And then I also thought Puss in Boots: The Last Wish had just recently come out, like the movie. I loved it. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to make this Toy Story 2 video. And I'm also going to wait until CinemaSins does The Last Wish. Then they published their Last Wish video. And my Toy Story 2 video is like almost done, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop everything, and I'm going to get the Last Wish video out as quickly as possible. Though it ended up coming later than I wanted to because I had to fight copyright, and this is back when I really did not know how to fight copyright. Yeah. And this is also... Oh, and also, no, I did not record this in my parents' house because in between these two videos, the Pirates 3 video and the Last Wish video, I had moved out into the house I live in now. So now I don't have to worry too much about lowering my voice. So that's a good thing at least. But yeah, we'll see how this goes because I was still using the UCut app on my phone.
You somehow brought up BDSM in a scene where a cat steps on a kid's face?
Oh boy, and this is back when I was blurring everything because, yeah, I was being lazy back then and thinking I'm just going to blur every scene the copyright has issues with, and now I know better not to do that, and I now know I can just freeze frames, and that's what I do now to avoid copyright. But yeah, this blurring, I was just being so lazy back then, and I didn't want to re-edit the video on UCut. I just wanted to re-edit it over the YouTube studio.
This could be set for the majority of the movie. But let's just add a few cents here for Puss in Boots surviving any of this. And yes, I realize he actually will die in a minute, so you might see the irony, but I see you off and me still giving this movie cents.
Okay, I know you're going to constantly question cartoon physics in an animated movie, so I'm just going to go ahead and add 20 cents so I don't have to keep repeating myself.
Like, there was a blur for that whole bit, and it's like, I can't even see what it was. I think back then, I just kind of assumed, like, oh, everybody's seen this movie already, so they'll hear the sound and they'll know, like, what that scene is. But no, I really shouldn't have done that. Like, you couldn't even see what that sin was in reference to.
Everyone thinks they'll be the one to defeat me, but no one escaped me yet.
But let me guess, Puss in Boots will, not for any logical or earned reasons, but because movies got a movie.
Wait a minute, you're saying Puss's reason for escaping death wasn't earned? Did you not pick up on any of the clever storytelling this movie has?
Okay, the way I worded that, he didn't necessarily escape death. He more so, like, just kind of convinced death, like, I'm not worth killing, basically. Though then again, the way I worded that just now was probably not the best worded either. It's like, I know what it was. I know what the movie was going for. I just didn't, like, explain it very well.
Wanna rub my belly?
This laugh.
I don't care if he's a textbook comic or...
Hey, you're supposed to add 10 cents for this laugh.
I don't even have a wish, but Can I try it?
So if the map gives you the path of whatever is in your heart, then wouldn't that also mean whomever's path is selected would be the one to get the wish? How would Puss or Kitty get to make a wish if they use Burrito's path? The lack of rules given for this map is very frustrating.
No, the movie is telling you that whatever path the world is, that's the path that anyone can travel down. You just made an assumption based on nothing.
How did this video get thousands of views? Because the blur, I seriously overused the blurring. Do you want me to redo this? I've thought about redoing this video because of the overuse of blurring, so I think I might do it someday in the future.
Big time crime syndicate, love. A big time crime family. Isn't that right, Goldie?
Referring to your employment situation and your coworkers as a family. I don't care if they actually are family. That's still messed up. Don't do that.
Dominic Toretto would like to have a word.
Okay, I mean, I like that joke bringing up the Fast and Furious movies, but I didn't know this back then, but family is like what mobs like call each other. Like they have different mob families in there, so that's something they were doing because they're like a parody of mobs. So yeah.
Pick it up. I know I can never defeat you, Lobo.
Also, this works. I'm not kidding. Wolf leaves after this. Keep watching. It's f***ing unreal.
Death wanted to kill Puss early because he was annoyed at how arrogant he was about wasting his 8 previous lives. Now Puss has decided to live his final life to the best of his ability and not waste it, meaning Death's mission is now ruined and he has to wait to kill him later. This is what I was talking about earlier when I say that Puss' escape death was earned, and I'm adding
Again, he didn't necessarily escape death, and the way I worded that, like, that's not necessarily what it was, but thank you, Luke. Like he did everything wrong on Citizens Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and he explained it a lot better than me. So thank you for that.
Are you seriously not aware of any of that?
That editing was really bad.
Two is the third best Toy Story movie. Well,
I disagree strongly.
in my opinion, 2 is.
Hold on. Wait. Oh my gosh! I left in that that title of that video. Oh man, that's bad.
So a movie.
I think I hear like the washer and dryer like in the background. Like I guess that's still in there. I think this is back when I recorded this in my living room instead of in here in my bedroom. So
Yard sale.
All the toys freak out about a yard sale sign the mom is hammering into the front lawn. But I'm much more concerned about a mother who opens a yard sale on her property without even so much as a hint about which toys her son is willing to part with.
How do you know that? It's possible the mom asked Andy if there's any toys he wants to sell, and then he wrote down a list. I mean, she does seem like a loving mother, so I'm pretty sure she asked for his permission.
And on a map.
I did also get a comment about that saying that apparently that's a normal thing. Somebody said that apparently his or her parents like actually just took toys while they didn't know and just kind of sold them without them realizing. So I guess that's a thing that happens.
This laugh.
Laugh deserves 10 cents.
Toy horse with no real hooves will catch up to this gas-powered vehicle. Wow, that toy horse was running at the same speed as an about-to-take-off jumbo jet. I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
I'm going to use similar logic here that the Birdman used in the first Toy Story video. Toys don't have lungs, so they don't have to worry about catching their breath. Therefore, they can run pretty fast.
Okay, well, that one I'm not sure. Yeah, because I remember talking in the Toy Story 3 video how, well, you had that moment where Jessie was inside the trash bag and she was like, I can't breathe, which implies they do kind of breathe oxygen. But I've seen a lot of comments like trying to debate this, like do toys actually breathe or do they have lungs? It seems that there's a lot of disagreement. Like, do they have lungs? Do they not have lungs? Do they, like, what exactly? How do they work? And so I'm not sure if I agree with this sin. I mean, I will admit it is still pretty dumb that a toy horse can catch up to a plane that's literally just about to take off. That is kind of dumb, but I mean, it's never really bothered me. Maybe it's because I'm blind to my nostalgia and have seen this movie so many times that I love it. I don't know, but that was the best explanation I could come up with back then. But you could also explain it with cartoon physics, but at the same time, it's a bit of I will say it is a bit of a leap, but oh well, who knows.
I feel like this sin should go without saying.
Okay, that text is kind of a little hard to read, and also my brother pointed this out, but the sin count
Without saying.
253, and yet for some reason I wrote 152 on this screen. Yeah, my brother pointed that out in the comments. So far, he is the only one to do that, and no one else has. Like, that is straight up. I don't know how I messed that up, but yeah, that is wrong.
These
These are German bombers in a movie about some British kids escaping the war into a mythical realm.
Wait, hold on, that sin count.
These are German bombers in a...
That sin count, like, text at the top appeared, like, way too slowly.
When boarding a train, please.
Sorry, that ding sound happened way too early as well.
You will listen to your brother, won't you, Edmund?
This laugh.
Be a big girl.
Add 10 cents. You're supposed to add 10 cents for the laugh. How did I not know that?
Jeez, you're really pulling out all the pop culture references for this one, aren't you?
Was my mouth, like, really far away from the mic that one time? What was that about?
Here's a jump scare chase scene that has all the tension of a genuinely scary moment, except that it ends with Santa Claus. Yep, Santa Claus. Has a movie ever jumped the shark at its own halfway point?
Another subverting expectations sin. I am genuinely running out of things to say.
Santa gives each human child a special gift.
Hold on, I just noticed. I maybe should have focused on the fact that Jeremy said, like, this is like a jumping the shark moment, because not really, because... Yeah, not really.
He will push his sword into the ice and help himself and his sisters to hold on to the ice cap as they get it washed away. How is any of that difficult to understand?
Hold on.
As they get it washed away. How is sword into the ice and help himself and his sisters to hold on to the ice cap as they get it washed away?
Get a washed away? Hold on.
Push his sword into the ice and help himself and his sisters to hold on to the ice cap as they get it washed away.
Get a washed away? What was that delivery, dude? You should have... Like, get a, like, come on, dude, come on.
In fact, let me play this fulfilling outro to show that I finally finished watching this trash video.
Hold on.
This trash video.
That ding sound was so... poorly timed again.
You misspelled Sid. Also, Sid did not...
Forgot to put a ding sound, or the sound when the sin counter changed.
I think the movie is meant to imply that they got past all the other security, just happened to be out of the monkey's eyesight, didn't know about it, and thus thought it would be safe to climb over the fence like this.
Wait a minute, was this always here? Or did Woody cut this out?
It was most certainly the latter.
Somehow Toy Story 3 found room for a changing outfit.
Most certainly
It's like this.
Wait a minute, was this always here? Or did Woody cut this out?
It was most certainly the latter.
That audio change was not... What was that about?
Bitácora espacial.
Holding the Buzz Lightyear reset button for more than 5 seconds turns him into Antonio Banderas.
Yep, that's right. Wait, what's the sin? You literally just stated a fact. You didn't explain what is wrong with the scene.
Yeah, I've said this in the pinned comment that I should have said that's racist there, because he literally just called Buzz being switched to the Spanish mode, and he's like, he turned into Antonio Banderas. I should have said that's racist, because holy crap, it was right there, and I missed it.
Sure, this romance began when he was in Spanish mode, but still, what the f, right? All toys should be doing it.
Nope, it was actually set up at the end of the last.
He was doing it. A couple people pointed out that this is another one of those instances where Jeremy thinks that you need to have sex in order to, be in love, and it's like, no.
45 seconds of logos and like this rock.
Hold on.
45 seconds.
That didn't count again. That appeared way too early, or not early, late. That's the opposite of what I was trying to say.
Skip.
Yeah, 10 seconds, because again, I recorded these videos on my phone back then. I didn't know how to download videos, so...
Oh, hey, I know a group of armed men have a raging murder boner for me in this room right now, but isn't the pillow fluff pretty when it flies around like that?
Also, Jeremy says boner.
He pulls the sword.
Jeremy says boner. That requires 10 sins, by the way.
You were older then.
As opposed to hundreds of years later, when you're younger.
I wish that I knew what I know now when I was younger.
Cringe.
Hey, Jeremy sings in a video. Cliche, that is 15 sins, dude.
And that is why this video is almost 18 minutes long.
For the second time in this movie, this idiot hides in plain sight.
So this one is a little more valid.
Is it just me, or does the audio there sound different?
How does anybody trust this guy to watch movies when he can't even notice the most basic things?
Hammering, sawing, plank carrying.
Hold on.
Notice the most basic things.
And did you hear that? I don't know what that was, but there was like a background noise in there.
Oh, you don't have an answer? Okay.
Wandering off.
Okay, why did that ding happen right when I said K? I think my ding sounds always happen too early. Looking back, a lot of these.
Yet the same mouse that easily disarmed and incapacitated 12 full-size soldiers in the forest a bit ago is now worried about a single sleeping house cat because no movie with a mouse can resist Tom and Jerrying for a bit.
He doesn't look that worried to me. He's probably more worried about the fact that I might blow their cover, and to go and tie him up anyway.
This movie has never owned a cat.
Yes.
So looking back at
This
this,
movie has never. Undercat.
That sigh, I don't think I communicated very clearly what I was doing there. So the point I was trying to make there was that I say that they tie up the cat anyway. Jeremy shows the cat being tied up, which makes me go like, oh my gosh, like, so like you should have realized that and then rectified that sin that he was doing about Reepichi being scared of the cat. So, and I did not communicate that very well. I don't even know if I communicated it well right now. So, yeah.
Deus ex Caspiana.
Stop misusing Deus Ex Machina.
I don't like how that sounded. That was cringy. Just the fact that I'm standing like super far away from the mic and clapping. You can just tell that that's what I was doing there.
But it's not as bad as you say it is.
Bloodless wounds that result in bloodless
Have
swords.
you what?
It's not edited perfectly, but it's not as bad as you say it is.
Bloodless wounds that...
As you say it is. And then immediately play the next sin. Man, I did not time these very well at all. Copyright claims suck. That's it? Like, okay. Bit of an anticlimactic way to end the video. Actually, I do know why it said that. Copyright claims suck, because I initially had a whole skit with clips from the movie played, but YouTube blocked the video, so I was just like, cut it, and I just got frustrated and put that text up there.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool.
We need to meet up with Vitruvius and tell him the piece has been found.
But didn't Vitruvius get kicked off the cliff into the lava at the beginning of this movie? Are you telling me he had a Gandalf-like experience where he fell to his death but became Vitruvius the White?
No, it's just that Finn simply imagined that he survived that, which I can buy an 8-year-old would do.
I don't know about that. I just don't know if that was the best argument for that. Like, didn't Lord Business kill Vitruvius? Oh, an 8-year-old was like, I'm thinking about that reasoning, and I'm thinking, maybe I could have said something better, but at the same time, I don't know what I could have said better. What do you think?
So basically, this is the Star Trek's Vader, or the Planet of the Apes' Kalima.
Jeremy makes a pop culture.
I won't test it out.
Makes two. That was two pop culture references: Star Trek and Planet of the Apes.
Removing Good Cop's facial features removes the entire Good Cop personality from this guy, somehow.
No, it simply removes his ability to express that personality, especially considering this scene later on.
Yeah, 10 seconds right there, because, this is another one of those cases where I recorded this video on my phone, and I didn't know how to download, and I remember specifically having a hard time finding this particular clip on YouTube where Good Cop draws his own face on there.
Editing company had to ride a rainbow bridge up to Cloud Cuckoo Land, but this pirate drops out of it into the water with no sign of any kind of rainbow bridge in sight. Is the rainbow bridge temporary?
Yes, the movie literally shows you.
Okay, so that clip, I remember I had my phone up and I pulled the movie up on Plex, and then I looked for that particular clip, and then I held the phone up and recorded it and then put it on there, because again, I was using UCut, an app. So yeah, that's why it looks like that. And you can see on the, well, I guess you can't see because my face is in the way, but you can see right here, you can see part of the computer, I think. So yeah.
And neither did you, or any audience members for that matter, especially considering it didn't start blinking until Bad Cop arrived.
I really like saying the term especially considering, don't I? Because it's one of those things where it's like, I overuse that term, don't I? It's like I also overuse the word literally.
No, you can clearly see in this shot two different platforms that the Batmobile Invisible Jet were on.
The Batmobile and Invisible Jet, because it sounded like I just said Batmobile Invisible Jet and there's no and in there.
The reason they didn't is because Bad Cop mentions that they're glued together now.
Hey, they're craggled together now. I should have said craggled there.
This laugh.
Anyone have any ideas?
I think there might have been a cut there. I'm not sure, but this laugh, that is 10 sins, dude. Why did you not add 10 sins back then?
Making him admire his imagination.
Okay, so I did cut this part out of the video because I regret it fully, but I regret fully. I then showed the end screen as CinemaSins showed. It was a poster of the Lego Movie video game, and I said a sin for having a photo from that terrible video game. I got a ton of comments about that, like crapping on me for that, and I regretted that too, because I looked back and I was like, I was being too harsh, and so I cut it out. Maybe it shouldn't count, but I'm counting it because I still regret that. So add a sin to this video, even though you guys can't even see it anymore.
We are from the planet Duklon. We are here to destroy you.
Oh, man.
Next time, baby.
Next time was a whole year, because there's like a year gap in between me doing Lego Movie and Lego Movie 2. I just had a vague idea of doing Lego Movie 2, but didn't know when.
The reason why Bonnie mentioned just those 3 toys is because she stopped herself when she realized she couldn't find Forky.
Who wants to go on a road trip?
I can see what it's trying to say. Here's the full scene, but it is not. I should have put it down like in the middle of the. Why is it up there? Why did I do that?
Actually, I agree. I'm one of the only people on the planet that likes this movie and think it's incredibly overhated, but even I don't like the way this movie downgraded Buzz into a weird running joke. This is one of the reasons I was
One of the people on the planet? I think that's an exaggeration, just because I'm pretty sure this movie has like, let me check. Yeah, 96% for the critics and 94% for the audiences. So there are actually a lot of people who like this movie. Like a lot of people.
Are discarded playground toys a thing? I mean, I found a shovel in the sandbox once, but never anything of substance. Of course, it's quite possible I was too busy applying salve on my third-degree burns from sliding down the metal slide to notice, so we'll just make this sin about public playgrounds in general.
Yes, this is a real thing. Again, you could have researched this, but nah, too hard, right? You already have millions of subscribers anyway.
I'll hand it to you.
Hold on. We'll make this sin about public playgrounds in general. I didn't say anything about that part. He's literally sinning the movie for public playgrounds being like this. I don't know. It's another one of those things where I'm like, you're sinning realism, dude.
Sinning Keanu Reeves for being in this movie.
I had a kid. Jean was so excited when he got me after.
Keanu Reeves for being in this movie.
That timing of that explosion to add 10 sins wasn't right. Again, I really sucked at timing these, didn't I?
I wouldn't trust this little girl, Mom and Dad, since you're at a carnival and Jordan Peele is a voice in this movie. It could be her doppelganger.
Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the movie cliche. Or at least, I think that's what he's doing here. Do you guys know what he's referencing?
Yes, he was referencing Us. I got a few comments about that because I still have not seen Us. Hold on.
To infinity and beyond.
I don't like that I did that. You could have just not done that.
Story by George.
Again, this count text appeared way too late.
Lucas.
Okay, listen. I know that lots of people hated George Lucas for this movie, as well as the Star Wars prequels.
What is that background noise? Is the dryer or washer in the background again? Really, dude?
The Russians decide not to learn their lesson and just throw away Indy's whip already.
No, I didn't edit this. That is how the audio is presented in the video.
That is ironic coming from you, who decided to record this video while the washer is in the background. Okay, and then the video just ends. Okay, so I had a whole segment here about where I just kind of reviewed all the Indiana Jones movies, because again, the 5th movie was coming around this time, and I just wanted to review all the movies because I really loved all of them. So, and then eventually, but then comments, none of the comments like talked about that segment, so I just felt discouraged and was just like, I'm just gonna delete it. And yep, and now the video just kind of ends with no sentence, so sin. Oh, I should mention too, this was my first Everything Wrong with CinemaSins video on my computer. So I stopped using my phone and I started using CapCut on my computer, and I've been using it this way ever since.
Legend tells of a...
Well, that's already bad because I cut off the beginning of the word legend there. So yeah, I began this video a little too late.
Are you serious?
Oh, I just remembered. I did Kung Fu Panda because somebody requested it, and I did not call out, or not call out, but maybe call out, but I did not call out that person who requested it and like say thanks to this person for requesting this video. That is a huge dick move there. Did you see that? That too? And then
and you just gave examples of why they wouldn't be.
And then the 3 just goes bigger, because I'm remembering now, when I started doing CapCut, what I was doing was I would write down sin count, and then I would write the number like next to it.
But now, whenever I do it, I just kind of write sin count and then the number like at the same time, and then switch out the number every time. So I don't know if I explained that very well. I don't know if you understood what I was saying, but that's something I used to do.
Because just from this shot, the fire is clearly behind them, even if this was...
I think I hear the dryer in the background again.
Also, this is one of the 7 brief times Jackie Chan as Monkey gets to speak.
So I looked up the Kung Fu Panda script, and as it turns out, Jackie Chan actually has 9 lines in this movie. Hey, CinemaSins likes being overly nitpicky, why can't I?
Why are Poe's dream?
I think he actually had 10 lines, because thank you for Luke Doherty for pointing this out, but Monkey also said, what? In the scene where Oogway makes Poe the Dragon Warrior, and everybody goes, what? And Monkey said, what? In that. So that's 10 lines that Monkey has technically. So it's definitely not what Jeremy said. He said like 7, right?
Yes.
8 and then 9 like that. There was a brief like millisecond there where there was nothing there.
Stylistic choice.
Is that a magic staff? Does this turtle use magic? Why not use magic?
What? Did you hear that? Why did the dryer sound continue into Jeremy talking? Like, why did I leave that in? Like, dude, that is so bad. Okay, I wasn't sure if I was gonna say it, but listen here.
Point to it.
There are 2 ding sounds there. So that was because I decided to add my own ding sound in there to every sin. But then I eventually realized, I think I realized in my next video that that was pointless because the ding sound is already in the CinemaSins video. So I didn't need to add it. So now, yeah, I just kind of use the same ding sound that they use, like, as like their audio is in my is signifying the ding going up, the counter going up.
Random messenger? This goose said he had a message from Master Shifu, and you're keeping a...
Is my voice... Am I standing like really far away again when I'm saying that? I don't know. I sound... My voice sounds weird there.
Is that what this is? I am so sorry. I thought it was just a regular peach tree.
Poe may not have any kung fu skills at this point, but his talking with a mouthful of peaches skills are on point.
Ah, here's the questioning physics in a cartoon portion of the video.
This was you're saying that as if that was the first instance of it, but like it's not. That was weird. Like, again, that's not the first time he did that, dude.
Did Tai Lung disintegrate him? Why am I just seeing this copper horn shield that has no obvious purpose drop to the ground?
That was Zeng's hat.
No, that wasn't. I had a few comments correcting me on that. Yes, you are right. No, that was not Zen's hat like I thought it was. That does go on the rhino's horn, because I don't know why I thought that was his hat. I think I might have confused it with something else. Yeah, Sin. Yeah, thank you guys for correcting me on that one too.
So now that Poe is officially the Dragon Warrior, he and Shifu have the same relationship as college roommates.
Was it just me, or was the CinemaSins clip there just a little too loud? I don't know, something about it sounded louder than the other ones. I don't know if you can read that. Please don't screw this up. I can read it, but I don't know how good that text looks right there. What's the sin total? I don't know. It'll be on the screen right now, but the sentence will be, I don't know. Let's say like Captain Vader. So I guess he's like force choke. So I just guess choke myself. Sure, we'll go with that. Let's go with that. All right, so that'll be all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Peace.